What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be going over the end of Oak Street. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo, and I'm talking about a movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy. You are in the right place. And like I said, today we're talking about the end of Oak Street. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, the end of Oak Street came out last week, and typically when that happens, I tend to not make a review because sometimes the movie might not be as relevant anymore and might not get the views or whatever. I don't care, right? But this movie was, in my opinion, so damn good that I felt it still deserved a review, even though I'm a week late to actually seeing it. Before I give you my pros and cons about the end of Oak Street, let me know what you guys think about this movie in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into my pros. And start with my pros is going to be the performances. I think everybody in this movie has a great performance. It's a very small, tight-knit crew where we have Anne Hathaway as the mother here, and then Ewan McGregor as the father, and then the two kids. And there's a couple little side characters here and there that aren't in extremely huge roles, but they're still there for some comedic relief or some emotional moments and stuff like that. But most of the part is going to be these four characters that we follow throughout the entire movie. And I do think everybody in this cast is doing a fantastic performance. Of course, you have the two kids, which I've never seen them in anything else before from that I can recall. But I do think both of them bring a lot of heart. They also bring some good emotion. You can see the fear in their face when it comes to certain moments with the dinosaurs. Ewan McGregor, of course, is just, for me, super charming in this movie. He's kind of a character that is just like a bum, really. You know, he's not really there for his family that often. He always leaves during family outings, and when they're having family time, he just leaves to go, do deliveries and stuff. And his excuse is also just to, he just wants to provide for the family. But we get a plot point within Anne Hathaway's character that you realize why he's been distancing himself from the family little by little because of something that Anne Hathaway has been doing kind of behind his back. Nothing crazy, but it is just something that is a pretty good plot point. But the person that has stolen the show once again is Anne Hathaway. Her performance in this movie is absolutely incredible. And no matter what she is in, she always gives it her absolute all. And she brings so much heart, so much emotion, such great character development. Is just a straight badass. Like, she's a boss in this movie. She takes control of every single situation, and it's just absolutely amazing to see her do so, because she is just a fantastic actress, and her character is absolutely amazing in this movie as well. So that being said, performances all over are amazing. Now let's get into the movie itself. We obviously have, from we've seen from the trailers, this little town gets transported to prehistoric times with the dinosaurs, and we have this neighborhood just trying to survive. Now, this is what I've been wanting out of a dinosaur movie. All the Jurassic World movies, they're for the most part just average. This is just what we wanted, where this movie has a right amount of wonder, where it's like, wow, look at these dinosaurs, this crazy scenery, this vast jungle. It has that nice wonder mystery to it. Also, how things got teleported, and this whole like warping situation with going back and forth in between present and past, while also mixing a very good amount of horror into it as well. You have a lot of night sequences where you just hear dinosaurs off in the distance, and while they're walking through the streets, and you feel that tension throughout the entire movie. But then you do still have those fun moments where you are going to be laughing out loud when you're seeing, a dinosaur chasing someone, and it looks funny because you just see it in the background. But then you have it when it's right up in your face and they're snapping at you and you're trapped in a corner and it seems like there's no way out. It just has that really nice balance of wonder and mystery and horror and goriness and just very, very heightened tension. I also love the directing of this movie, the way they chose their shots, where there's a lot of very crazy vast shots. We'll get into some cons when it comes to the vast shots, but just the way the directing is, of how there's all the profiling or the framing of the shots, or how they're using blocking as they're walking through the streets, and you see the dinosaurs in the background and everything like that. Just the way they directed it, the way they build up to the dinosaurs, it's all done so well, and it just keeps you invested, keeps you at the edge of your seat, it keeps you wanting more, and it is just a great fast in and out movie. The movie's not that long, and it's super fast paced. You are constantly being entertained. There's not really any dull moments. Even the moments where you're just sitting with the family and they're just talking, the conversations that they're having is engaging, and you're just wanting to be more and more involved in this movie. And I think that has a lot to do with the writing and the directing style as well. I love the design of the dinosaurs. I like how they went with a uh more or less accurate representation of what dinosaurs are now with our new understanding of dinosaurs, where they're a lot more bird-like. So most of these dinosaurs, you'll see them have like feathers or fur and stuff like that, where they're not full on reptilian like how we used to really think about them. They're a lot more bird-like, and I love the design of it. I think the dinosaurs look really good in this movie. They look extremely menacing, and they're vicious. They come at you with a vengeance. It is just intense the way they chase after all of these people throughout the entire movie. So the dinosaurs are just such a fun, intense, scary uh kind of creature to have in this movie that just builds that tension, and it just gets more and more intense as the movie goes on. But overall, this movie was just an absolute blast. It's what you want from a dinosaur movie. It just gives you so many great feels, so many great emotions, so many shocking moments that you wouldn't expect from something like this, that you literally feel yourself, like your jaw just drop. Like there's been so many moments in this movie where I like was shocked and put into silence because I just couldn't believe what just happened. And you have a few moments like that. So it just keeps you entertained, engaged, shocked, gives you emotions, gives you some laughs, some wonder, and some fear. It is exactly what you want from a really good dinosaur movie. So for me, this was just an absolute amazing blast of a film. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the cons. And I don't have many cons here. It's more so the visuals, where you have a lot of moments where, like I said before, you have these vast open kind of landscape shots, and you can instantly tell that it's like some sort of green screen or CGI. And sometimes when you want a movie of like dinosaurs, when you want to be involved and invested into the world and you want to indulge yourself in it, when you have visuals like that, it can definitely take you out of it because it just doesn't look real. It just doesn't look good. You know, you have Anne Hathaway standing there in front of this vast jungle, and you just like, oh well, that's a fucking green screen. Like it just had a very weird look to it, and not even not, it wasn't even always those vast shots. Like sometimes when you have characters just walking around, there was this very like un unusual look to the movie where it just looked really fake, or they're like just the way the lighting was, or the way they kind of blurred the edges. Like it just had this really weird look to it sometimes. And it was kind of like bothersome when you're watching the movie, where you're just kind of like, oh, that's a really weird shot and how that looks. And it just, moments like that can take you out of it a little bit, where you're not focused on what's happening on screen, or what's happening in the story, I should say, and more focused on just how it all looks. And that was something that I just noticed throughout the whole movie, where it has this really unique, weird lighting and blur effect and very CGI or green screen look to the movie, where it just kind of, you can't not just look over that. It's something that it goes into your mind as soon as you see it. I also wish we got a little bit more about how this even happened. You know, it doesn't really explain too much, and that's part of the mystery. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to explain that, but it would have been nice to get a little bit more information of how this even happened. What was even the reason this happened in this location at this time, and you know, a little bit more about that would have been really fun to kind of know. And even towards the end, once we get a resolution and you see certain things happen, what happens in the other world, in the present, because this little, you know, town swapped. So everything that was in that section in prehistoric time is now in the modern section. And I feel like they just kind of really quickly went over that, brushed over that. Oh, that's the end. I wish that we got a little bit more details about that, or that could even set up a really nice sequel as well. But we don't really get much beyond that because he just instantly resolve it in like 5 seconds and then move on to the next scene and move on to the ending. So there was just some things where I really wish we could have delved a little bit deeper and got a little bit more details in. And I felt like that would have gave the movie a really nice round story where you have all the information and you have a little bit more lore of why this even happened to begin with. At least for me personally, for me that would have been something that would have been pretty cool to know. That is going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the end of Oak Street in the comment section down below. But again, if you guys like talking about the movie, TV show, video game later, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.